We are headed to Horicon, New York to live stream the BESS, Battery Energy Storage System, Moratorium public hearing that is expected to take place this evening at 6 p.m. in the Town of Horicon Town Hall, in a state-required public hearing in the Adirondack Park. Horicon is a small community mostly surrounding Brant Lake, a clean bedroom community with major influxes of folks from larger surrounding cities, Southerners as the locals call them. Those folks, as well as those that have lived here forever, simply wanting a clean, calm, relaxed community in which to spend summers or live full-time, in the beauty and comfort of the Adirondack State Park. But Horicon, like many small or large towns in New York State, as we will quickly find out, has a problem. Here we enter the town hall an hour before the town board meeting takes place to ask some questions and get some back information on the town for our story and visit. We are talking with the town clerk, whom some of the younger folks in town know by name as the money lady or town clerk. Small towns are awesome. Here the clerk details that they will soon be live streaming these meetings to the public, because many of the folks are part-time residents and that is what the public in the town are asking for. They deserve it. They are the taxpayers after all, and transparency is key to the taxpayer.
It's time to switch over to doing that, just for there's a lot of people that, might be part-time residents. Everybody's used to getting their information that way, so it's just kind of getting into...
And that is such a great concept, statement, in that you have, from what I was told from the kids up at the ballpark, a large percentage of people that are out of the town that comes in. The influx is good. Double?
Pretty much, yep.
And so those folks, being from larger cities, are used to that. And they don't have are they knocking on your door?
No, it's just with a lot of them being gone in there, they do like to keep track of what's going on, and so I think it would be a nice service for them so that they can keep track and kind of know what's going on. So it's just really the way the times are now. So
it is.
It's really doing a service to our community to be able to offer that.
Carol and I go to a lot of different towns, and we try to help towns get on board with that, either recording or live streaming. And we're going to do that tonight for this meeting.
A lot of interest and a lot of feedback.
So do you think you'll have a number of people here tonight? I mean, you're going to approve it, right?
I don't know for sure. I had a lot of feedback. It's hard to tell how many people will actually show up, but I have had a lot of feedback with people that would like to be here. Chestertown had beyond a full house for their meeting. So I do feel like people will come out and really voice their concerns or their opinions.
Awesome.
I'm hoping, because that's what they really should do.
Yeah. The point that we try to push is that it's better to be involved in your community before there's an issue.
Absolutely. And a lot of times, people don't stay involved or don't really know what's going on, and then when something comes up,
it's too late.
Right, and then they're upset, but you have to stay involved.
Absolutely.
You can't kind of complain after the fact.
There are still towns, even today, you're probably aware, that resist public participation in that way.
Yes.
And it's so disheartening.
It is. Because it should be open and transparent. And they have a right to know what's going on. It's their tax dollars that fund the town, so they really should know what's going on, I think.
And that from the money lady. Okay, well, I'll see you later.
That description of what a town should be doing and what the town of Horicon is actually doing will soon evaporate into the nothingness of a town, against all odds with the public they do not serve, whilst the gatekeeper, the town clerk, is assigned with the position of maintaining the image of that faux process, while she sits at her desk spewing non-truths that will soon be negated in front of not only the folks attending this town board meeting, but all of those that are or will watch this meeting play out in its entirety. We advance some more small talk as we explain why we are there for the meeting and ask some questions about the process, and review the room for possible camera and microphone placement. We take a drive around Brant Lake simply to get a feel for the town for the next 35 minutes until it's time to return to the town hall to set up our equipment. We enter the room at 5:45 p.m., where several folks are milling about or speaking one-on-one. We turn on our microphones and immediately start a camera. As we begin to set up, we ask if there is a recording policy in the town so we can be correct with any required placement of our equipment for recording. Someone steps out to get the town supervisor, who enters a few moments later. What transpires over the next 10 minutes, and into the meeting, is a stew of tyranny, mistrust, a set of public concerned that they are not being treated fairly, and with only small amounts of feedback from the town board or supervisor. To provide the public these folks do not serve, and do so with minimal means to support the needs of the tax-paying public, and instead exhibit the full wrath of tyranny at its finest in New York State. Sit back and watch as that thick, soupy stink of tyranny seeps into every crevasse and under every door in this hardly managed to the rights of the public taxpayer here at the Town Hall of Horicon. And it all takes place in the beautiful Adirondack State Park, in the not-so-sleepy lakeside community surrounding Brant Lake in New York State. Here we first interact with the town supervisor, Butler. We introduce ourselves, and then halfway through that interaction realize this person is not asking for this personal information in a cordial way. He is indeed demanding it. We are already becoming reserved, protecting our rights to provide only what is necessary or cordially acceptable. The rest will be ignored in defending our rights as members of the public.
Good. Somebody was asking me about a recording policy.
Yes.
You are,
My name is Don Peavy.
and you want to record for what reason?
Just because I want to record. That you shouldn't be asking me that, but I just needed to know, do you have a microphone system?
We do that where we record, yes.
Right. So where is the speaker for the microphone?
Well, we record internally. So you're from the Sun, correct?
No.
Well, could you identify where you're from?
We place our two microphones that are about the size of a $50 on the tables of the board so we can capture the audio of the board during their deliberations. The board has 5 microphones they use, approximately 4-inch by 4-inch bases with a protruding microphone that sticks upward out of the base by 6 inches. The town's microphones take up approximately 10 times the visual space as our wireless microphones do. So our microphones cannot be considered as a distraction by the public that would detract from the ability of the public to view the board's deliberations. The microphones we are using are much, much smaller than those of the towns. New York State's open meeting laws state that municipalities can create policies that prevent disturbances or distractions from equipment that prevents the public from having clear access to those deliberations. There are no disturbances from our equipment or distractions from its use here. The town's microphones are connected to a speaker system, but those speakers are turned off in an attempt, as we were told later by members of the public in attendance at this meeting, in order for the public not to clearly hear the deliberations of the boards. That specific issue plays out later in the meeting when the public states they cannot hear the supervisor, and he turns on his microphone momentarily and can be clearly heard. That microphone is turned off within minutes of that concern by the public during the meeting, returning the audio clarity of that meeting by the public in attendance down to an inaudible level on the speaker system while maintaining the audio for the town's recording. We will be foiling for those recorded meetings in the future.
Okay, I'm not trying to be a jerk here, but I'd like to understand where you're from and why you're doing this.
Hey, my name is Don Peavy.
And you want to record for what reason?
Just because I want to record. That you shouldn't be asking me that, but I just needed to know, do you have a
Will you
microphone
identify
system?
yourself, please? Will you identify yourself, please? Will you identify yourself, please?
Transparency, as this town clerk has explained to us in detail, outside the meeting, as a staple it is. Ode to the taxpayers in Horicon, she states. And yet, as the meeting begins to get started, the town supervisor directs the town clerk to remove our live stream microphone that will be used for capturing the audio of the public speaking at the public comment stand.
That's fine. What's that?
Say you have to move our microphone.
Oh, yeah.
The town clerk hurriedly obeys, and that while the town supervisor directs himself to remove our microphones, capturing the board's voices as well. All of this action recorded on camera, while in the name of that very transparency we previously discussed in detail with the town clerk not an hour before, simply dissipates in the cool, clear evening air that meanders about the stifled town hall, and exits to be blown into the breeze across the pond with its stink of authoritarianism control, wafting over Brant Lake and into the homes and businesses that surround it, removing, as it were, all vestiges of that open transparency and information that only an hour before was the most important thing the town could and should provide for the taxpayer here in Horicon, New York. And yet, that's not the end of the bag of tools to threaten and intimidate the public this board does not serve here. An additional threat, that of arrest, is levied against the uncouth public that reaches into their constitutional bags of protection from such tyrants, tools protecting themselves from these folks that could care less. The sheriff will put this to rest, these members of the public that dare question anything. Heathens they are, that disregard the commands of tyrants, those that step out of line with the demands of a town supervisor that has only uttered snippets of arbitrary control while offering nothing in the way of law or policy. Taking sharp aim at the lowly public here in this meeting that think they hold any power against the almighty Oz, the man behind the curtain. Yes, this town board keeps the sheriff's department available at its whim, to maintain its authoritarian control and faux service to its taxpayers. Yes, the sheriff's department is called to round out that mix of control and mitigation of the very rights of the worst of the public taxpayers here attending as their civic rights direct them, while the town board elicits only contempt at that public who have taken time from their lives to be here, in this meeting, in the beautiful town of Horicon, in New York State.
Will you identify yourself, please? Okay. Can somebody just call 911 and ask the sheriff to come in here?
You're live streaming?
You got a good side?
Yeah, you're live streaming.
Could you, that phone, let me get my phone.
Is there silence?
I think so, yes, ma'am.
The meeting gets underway. The public hearing takes place. The town does not make a motion to vote on the BESS Moratorium. We wait for the sheriff. 20 minutes, nothing. So we call to make sure they are on their way, to educate the town board as to the rights of the public to the very transparency the town talks about, but does not supply to the taxpayer in the town of Horicon, although they talk a good game. We are told they are on their way. The meeting continues. Public comment starts. A member of the public states he has had a request in for a sanitary system on a property next to the town hall, with everything necessary having been accomplished, but the approval. Months have passed with no communication whatsoever, leaving the public no choice but to file an Article 78.
Good evening. My name is Mike Clementi. We own property at the other end of the lake. Last year, myself, my wife, and my son and my daughter-in-law bought the Catholic Church. What I'm about to say is just for informational purposes more than anything else. I'm only allowed 2 minutes, so this will be a short synopsis and not all of the facts associated with what we've been through, but the important facts. We submitted an application for a septic system. After several public meetings on December 18th last year, the public hearing was closed. According to town law, after 62 days from December 18th, the town was required to vote on the application. It's now been 4 months since that December 18th meeting. We had hoped that a vote would be taken today. It's way past the 62 days that the town allows for them to do it. No further discussion is needed. The public meeting was closed. The only thing that's required is the vote, and that would probably take less than 2 minutes. The important facts to consider are that no variance was needed from the septic system to the lake. We are well outside the minimum requirement. No variance was needed from the septic system to the well. The well as it is now is over 600 feet deep. The septic system has been approved by 3 separate engineering firms. Our engineer who designed it, and is very careful and well known, thought it was a great system. The town engineer, this town engineer approved it. The New York State Board of Health engineer approved it. All have looked at the application and given approval. Because 3 separate engineering firms have examined the application and approved it, we have to feel that it hasn't been voted on. It has to be not because the system is unsafe, but there has to be another reason. At this particular point, we are terribly frustrated. We have no pathway forward, therefore, but to file on Article 78, which we have instructed our attorney to do tomorrow. We deeply regret that we have to take this course of action. It costs us money, it costs the town money. It is a waste of my real estate taxes.
Minutes later, during that public comment period, the sheriff arrives, educates the town supervisor as to the rights of the public to record the meetings. The sheriff leaves and the public comment period continues. We address the town board. Tyranny is a choice in towns like Horicon, just like in any other town in New York State. It seems here in beautiful Brant Lake, limited freedoms to your rights under the Constitution, or that of the law here, are simply a way of life for this town board.
Any other comments? I apologize for the interruption. Any other comments on the floor?
Yes, I'd like to make a comment.
Yes.
So tonight, when I walked in the door to record this meeting for the public in New York State, I asked if there was a recording policy available from the town that I could follow. Immediately, someone went to the town supervisor, and the supervisor came in and said, "Who wants that recording policy?" I said, "I do." He goes, "Who are you? Who are you with?" Now, did he ask anyone here your names when you walked in the door? He did not, did he? That's called discrimination. He discriminated against me. That is a lawsuit for this town. Now, do I want to file a lawsuit in this town? No, I do not. I simply want to use the fact that you guys are awesome for being here at this meeting representing yourself as the public you are. That is great. That is great to show other people in New York State exactly how they need to be when they want to direct their town in the way that they want it to go. This man is a tyrant, in my opinion, okay? He is a tyrant, and he deserves to be sued, but I'm not going to do that because you know what? It's going to cost you money here, okay? He has no right. I went outside, I called the sheriff and I said, "Please, are you boys going to come here as he called you to try to arrest me for recording a public meeting in a public hall, in a public forum, with a public state required hearing?" And they said, "He's going to be right out there." I said, "Thank you very much." So he just came, he educated this man on the rights of the public in this town hall for New York State to see. And I hope he's embarrassed. Thank you very much.
Well, first of all,
You also was listening when we talked.
pardon me?
You did not hear us all talk.
I needed to answer the...
And without a recording, you will never know what was said.
I think the president said is that they're probably 100%.
That is only the tip of the iceberg. You said a lot more and went through the history of what went on. There is so much. You neglected to say how much time you have spent trying to delay us.
So let me answer this gentleman's first.
I didn't have a question.
Well, you made a statement. May I comment on this?
I don't care.
But I'll tell you what, I prefer to pass. I merely asked for who you were and to identify yourself.
My name is Don Peavy.
And you want to record for what reason?
Just because I want to record.
All the while, the public of Horicon that pays taxes here for the betterment of the community as a whole continue to suffer the indulgence of the tyranny that will not and does not serve those that just do not matter in this community. In Horicon, on Brant Lake, the people that should be treated with respect and that should be served by those elected and those they appoint will always lose in the ugly face of tyranny, whether it's on the windward side of Brant Lake or the leeward side. It matters not where you live here. It settles almost imperceptibly on everyone's doorstep here in the beautiful Adirondack Park, centered squarely in the town of Horicon, a beacon of foul and oppressive behaviors that, were it not recorded, would have not been believed from such an upscale bedroom community as this.
All in favor? Thank you all.
Into the building, did you introduce yourself and say, hi, I'm so-and-so, or did you just
I
say,
did, to the
I
clerk.
worked, I just
To the
want
clerk.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter. I do not have to introduce myself as
Yes,
a
you
member
do.
of the public. No.
Let me tell you
Did
something. If you
Did
walk
you?
into my hotel, I would ask you.
Oh, see, that's private, it's not public. See what I mean? It's
This is a great question by this constituent of the town of Horicon. While this constituent states that it's common decency as far as being cordial, in which we did introduce ourselves cordially as documented in the recording. With respect to any additional context, with respect to someone demanding more information than might be required in any chance meeting, it has to be agreed that a town board or a town supervisor has no business treating anyone that wishes to record a meeting any differently than a member of the public that is watching that meeting with their eyes. The state open meeting law or public officers law makes no difference between a member of the public watching a meeting or a member of the public recording a meeting. There is no additional scrutiny provided for someone recording than the general public, because the general public can record at their whim or leisure, as well as any news agency or independent reporter. We simply state that while a private company may request more information from someone using their services, a municipality is not held to require more or less from anyone recording than would be asked of any other member of the community that is able to record or not. The meetings in any municipality.
Brought to you by TWCA Productions.
It's your community, and it's your future. Drive it.